What's up, everybody? It's Supersmallchibiwolf here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Cowboy Bebop. This is a 26 episode anime series from the 1990s. First thing I want to talk about is the characters. The characters were funny, amazing, and I love them, each one having their own cool personalities, skills, and talents. First character I want to talk about is Spike. He was a cool space cowboy that was great in martial arts, and he is skilled in using his gun. He was sometimes lazy and loves to relax. His past is what makes him more interesting, and we get to know more about him and the people he used to work with. And I like that about him. Next character I want to talk about is Faye Valentine. Now, Faye, she was a smart girl that was great at using her looks to manipulate guys to get what she wants. She was also talented in annoying Spike. But really, she was a great member of Spike's team, and I like that she helped out Spike and was, a funny and great person. And you know what I also like is that she's also a cool tsundere. So yeah. The next character I want to talk about is Jet. Jet, he was a cool, chill guy that was more responsible and I'd say more reasonable out of the other members of Bebop. He was the one to think things more through and, the one to actually have more patience out of the other characters of Bebop. Now, he has a great past. I like, he was interesting and cool, and also he's half man and half robot. What was it? He's like a cyborg, I believe they call it. Someone similar to like Genos from One Punch Man. Cool, half human, half cyborg, and half robot. So yeah. The last character I want to talk about is Edward. She was a clumsy, funny, fun, hyper personality girl, and despite her young age, she is very smart and can create different devices and objects. She is talented in hacking, and I love that whenever she finishes hacking, she leaves a logo behind just to piss off those she is fighting against. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the story. The story starts with Spike and Jet eating and traveling space after hearing about a guy that was involved in a shootout and also who also killed his own man. Spike sounds uninterested, but shortly after Jet mentions the Garnetas, which catches Spike's interest fast. Later, he meets the girlfriend of his bounty, and after talking with each other, his bounty gets mad and they get in a fight, which results in Spike getting choked out, only to be saved by the girlfriend of his bounty. Later, Spike disguises himself and meets with the bounty and kicks his ass, which results in a cool fight also. Man, I enjoyed the fight scene, by the way. A lot of these fights are pretty cool. So after escaping, the bounty goes to space and Spike gets saved by Jet. So Spike goes out chasing the bounty, but unfortunately, after a big fight between both of them, Spike wins and Spike and Jet continues their adventures out in space. Now, Cowboy Bebop has this thing of every, what was it, new villain every episode. One of those things. So it's not really a big story until later on it gets introduced someone that actually has more meaning. But most of the time it's similar to Sailor Moon. There's like a main villain, which is Ann and Al, for example, season 2. And then throughout the episodes, there's just a new villain every episode. So similar to that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the music. Oh yeah, by the way, story-wise, yeah, I like the story. It's pretty cool. So the next thing I want to talk about is the music. I like the music. Let me say this. A lot of times I listen to anime, and there's just rare occasions where I don't like the music, but in Cowboy Bebop, it's pretty cool. Uh, I like now. I would say I'm not so into like jazz and stuff like that, but Cowboy Bebop, it's pretty cool intro. I enjoy it. Cool trumpet sound, a catchy song. The intro called the what was it? What was the intro called? Because I like the intro, to be honest, a lot. Also, the Real Folks Blue or something like that. It has like a mysterious feel to it. A great instruments in the background, cool vocals, and all these things come together to create a nice, relaxing, cool finishing song for the episodes, and that's the thing I liked about the music. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the animation. Man, I love the animation of Cowboy Bebop because it has that original anime look, being the hand drawn, but it also uses some modern digital look in some ways, and it's obvious in some looks that it is trying to be like a digital modern thing, trying to get to that, because those were the early ages of kind of getting into the digital look. For example, one that looks weird would be that what was it, Sailor Moon All movie or S movie that I reviewed, and yeah, man, the intro of that was like what? So that's how a lot of CGI was. If you were interested in, like, I remember when stuff was like that. It was like what? And then yeah, man, it's just so the graphics in general, the animation. I say if the characters looks cool, but certain spots, it's like yeah, a little weird. So yeah, that's now moving on. One thing that I really love is learning more about the characters and their backstories. Spike was an interesting guy that had a cool story. Chet had a mysterious life before joining Spike in his adventures. Ed is a young girl, so she doesn't have that much of a backstory. And Faye, she had a great, heartwarming backstory. Episode 18 is where we learn more about characters, and I enjoyed it a lot. I like the spaceship scenes. Because the fightings, to be more specific, the fighting spaceship scenes. Seeing them fighting in space, going around, and you know, pretty cool. I like that a lot, and also seeing how they're in space and all that, and going to different types of towns and villages, I guess, and seeing how the world of Cowboy Bebop is in general was pretty cool as well. Now, I would say the best episodes that made the villains great are episode one because it introduces these two and then kind of, you know, gets us. I don't know, I enjoyed the episode one villain and episode 20 because the villain had heart and, we got to know more about him and his backstory and him as a person, and not just like, oh, a generic villain of the week character. And I like that they kind of got more into him and his backstory and the things he used to do and his skills and fights, you know, and really cool character, I'd say. Now, I after watching Cowboy Bebop, I would say I love Cowboy Bebop. Man, it was a cool anime. The characters had great personalities, were interesting backstories, cool designs. The music was great, and it makes certain scenes even better than if they weren't with music. Now, I would also say throughout the 26 episodes, man, I enjoyed each one of them. Each episode brought some new and coolness to it, and maybe some episodes I'd say are better than others. But yeah, that's basically that's not that bad of a thing. I recommend watching Cowboy Bebop. It is one of my favorite animes, I'd say, and yeah, pretty cool anime. The animes that I recommend watching are Tenchi Muyo because it also follows amazing characters going on adventures in space and well, just all out cool. And Gurren Lagann because they are also great characters. The story and also space wise and just all out amazing anime. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye. Now, I'm going to talk about a spoiler section. So, if you don't want to hear that, you've been warned. So, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Now, there are more than one bounty. Uh, now, I want to start off by saying this. Now, a lot of times, I heard a lot of people say I kind of got a spoiler, before watching Cowboy Bebop. I remember in the past, like they say, "Oh man, they get all the bounties. They never get a bounty or something like that. Like they never catch a bounty. Something bad happens. They either die or something else, right?" But that's not true because number one, I heard, like I said, I heard about that. But number two, they did catch a bounty. Well, Mm, let me get it more specific. So they didn't catch it because the police arrested him right there on the spot, but they still caught him. So yes, they did catch a bounty. So, but the police was there and they caught him anyway. So maybe, in my opinion, he got a bounty. You know, a lot of people make it like he never succeeds, he never does this. That's what I've always heard about Cowboy Bebop. But he does succeed. He does get a bounty. The only difference is the cop took it away. So, yeah, I'm going to defend Spike and the crew and say he did catch a bounty. Now, with that being that, to be honest, that's all I wanted to say because I was like, yeah, man, someone has to defend Spike and the crew, and that's gonna be me. So tell me what you all think about this, the small spoiler, and tell me all what you think about Cowboy Bebop. Let's have a discussion down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, bye.